I drew a stick figure in art class and the teacher called the police. Mrs. Keller told us to draw something that makes us happy. Easy assignment. Some kids drew their phones. One kid drew Fortnite. I drew me and my dad fishing. It's what we do. Every Saturday since I was 7, we wake up at 5 a.m., drive to the lake, and fish until noon. It's boring if you think about it, but it's my favorite part of the week. So I drew it. 2 stick figures. The little one was me. The big one was my dad. I gave myself a fishing rod because I always cast first. I drew the bait shop behind us because that's where we get worms, and my dad gets his coffee. Even added a fish jumping out of the water for some action. I thought it was pretty good for stick figures. Mrs. Keller did not agree. She stopped at my desk, picked up my drawing, and her face went white. Like actually white. She looked at me, then back at the paper. Then she screamed, "Security! I need security in here right now!" The whole class went dead silent. I just sat there like, what is happening? I know I'm not the best artist, but I didn't think I was that bad. 2 security guards came running in like there was a fire. She shoved my drawing at them and pointed at me like I was dangerous. They escorted me out of the room without saying a word. Every single person in that class watched me leave. I still had no idea what I did wrong. Principal Carter had my drawing under a desk lamp like he was examining a ransom note. Mrs. Keller was pacing behind him. A security guard stood by the door. All of this for a stick figure. "Explain," Principal Carter said. "It's me and my dad. Fishing. We go every Saturday." "What is this figure holding?" "A fishing rod." He looked up at me. "Do I look stupid to you?" "What?" I said, "Do I look stupid? Because you're sitting here telling me this is a fishing rod when I'm looking at a weapon. It's a stick with a line coming off it. There's a fish in the water. I even wrote the word FISH next to the fish. I know I'm not Picasso, but I didn't think it was that hard to figure out." He pointed at the bait shop. "What's this building?" "Larry's Bait and Tackle. We buy worms there. My dad gets coffee." Mrs. Keller leaned in. "It looks like he's aiming at the building." "He's not aiming at anything. He's facing the water, because that's where fish live. That's how fishing works." Principal Carter picked up his phone. "I'm calling the police." "The police? For a drawing of a fish?" "I'm calling the police because you drew what appears to be a weapon pointed at a building full of people. It's a bait shop. The only things inside are worms." He was already dialing. "I'm also calling your parents. Sit tight." 20 minutes later, 2 actual cops walked into the office. They looked at the drawing, then at me. One of them sighed. The other one pulled out a notepad like this was a real case. I sat there wondering how a Saturday morning fishing trip turned into a criminal investigation. My dad showed up 15 minutes later. Still had his work shirt on. Still had dirt on his hands. He walked in, saw the 2 cops, and his face went serious. "What happened? Is he okay?" "He's fine," Principal Carter said. "But we need to discuss something he drew in class today." He slid the drawing across the desk. My dad picked it up, stared at it. Then he laughed. Not a chuckle, a real laugh. "This is from last Saturday." "Excuse me?" "This is us at the lake. We go fishing every weekend. Here." He pulled out his phone and turned it around. The photo was right there. Me standing in front of Larry's Bait and Tackle, holding my fishing rod, grinning because I caught a 3-pound bass. Same building, same rod, same everything. "That's a fishing rod," my dad said slowly, like he was talking to a toddler. "It catches fish, which is why there's a fish in the picture, which is why he wrote the word FISH on the paper." He looked at Principal Carter, then at Mrs. Keller, then at the cops. "Is everyone in this room slow?" Genuinely asking. "Do y'all have some kind of special needs I should know about? Because my son drew a fish, labeled it fish, drew a fishing rod, drew a bait shop, and somehow you looked at that and saw a threat?" Nobody said anything. "What part of this is hard to understand? What part? Show me. Point to the part that's confusing you. I'll explain it real slow." Principal Carter opened his mouth. My dad cut him off. "You called the cops on a fishing trip. You put my son in a room with 2 police officers because he drew a picture of something we do every single weekend. And not one adult in this building stopped and said, 'Hey, maybe that's a fishing rod.'" The cop with the notepad flipped it closed. His partner was already heading for the door. Mrs. Keller was staring at the floor. Principal Carter had nothing. My dad put the drawing in his pocket. "Let's go. We're done here." I grabbed my backpack and followed him out. Behind us, I heard one of the cops mutter something to Principal Carter. I couldn't hear all of it, but I definitely heard the word seriously, and it didn't sound like a compliment. The assignment was to draw something that makes me happy. I got interrogated by police for it. Still got an A though.